Redragon, we need to talk. We need to talk about this. This is the astrolabe lite. I think they're saying that because it literally weighs 49 grams. And now, okay, I'm gonna spoil it to you guys. This mouse is not the greatest, but you'll have to stick around to see exactly why. Let's just get into some of the specs and positives of this thing so you know that I'm giving it a fair shake. But yeah, Redragon, I am disappointed in you for releasing this. Look, I paid $20 for this, which doesn't seem like a lot, but let me put it into perspective, guys. This right here is the K617 Fizz. And this keyboard's insane for the price. It's about $20 too. It's like $27. The key point I'm trying to make here is that if you're buying this thinking that Redragon is going to have really good budget, will be like consistent quality in terms of mice, I have bad news for you because this is garbage for $20. I wouldn't even pay. Okay, I'm gonna be realistic. I would only pay like $12 for this mouse, okay? And here's why. There's really one big problem with this mouse, okay? And this one problem is actually what's making me completely hate this mouse. Apart from that problem, it doesn't do too much wrong, okay? The shape's actually pretty good compared to the super light. The scroll is not that bad. It doesn't like miss scroll when I b-hop in CS. The side buttons are actually all right. Now, I'm not a fan of like the textured button. Easier for you to grip, and I guess you can tell the difference between the front and the rear button just based off of feel, right? Which I guess is kind of cool. And then the bottom of it has this like skeleton emptied out shape, which is like reminiscent of these guys that mod their Logitech G Pro Superlights. They add these 3D printed bottom plates to make their mice a lot lighter. So yeah, this thing is really light. I will give it that. 49 grams, feels great. The skates could be much better. This would be one of the first things you upgrade if you buy this mouse, which again is a mistake, and I'll get into why it's a huge mistake in a second here. But overall, responsiveness is not bad. The clicks are not bad. Everything is just not bad. You know, for $20, I was thinking this was going to be a great mouse. Now, here is the part you've been waiting for. This mouse is absolutely atrocious in game, and the reason why is because every time you try to do a fast flick or any fast movement, back and forth swipe, or just a fast swipe in general, it spins out, and it spins out catastrophically, and that's with zero liftoff. Okay, that's with me not even lifting the mouse off of the mouse pad, which is awful. This gets an F. This is a fail. Okay, Redragon gets an absolute fail for this product. And the reason why that is so unacceptable is because it doesn't end there, okay? When you lift it off and you put it back down, so you're doing like fast swipes, it spins out while you're doing that too. If you have it at a low sense, you have to move your hand fast, right? So this would only work for high sense people. If you could only get this mouse and could get nothing else, the only way that you would get sort of reasonable performance out of this is having a sense on the upper high end of things, because then you just don't have to move your mouse as fast. But the faster you move this mouse, the more confused it gets. And look, does that mean I'm just done with Redragon as a whole? Absolutely not. They did make this keyboard, okay? They did make this keyboard. AK polling rate feels better than my Wu-Tang. And again, it's not like higher quality than my Wu-Tang, but it inspired more confidence in game. And I do feel like that has something to do with the AK polling rate. Okay, they nailed it with this, right? But obviously, whatever influence in their keyboard department that they had in terms of like quality control was not there for this m725 Lite. Okay, definitely was not there. And again, like I said, is it the end of me testing Redragon products in general? No, definitely not. I need to see if Redragon can vindicate themselves, because this is an awful mouse. Okay, just gonna say it straight up. Awful mouse. And, you know, a lot of people were saying, oh, you know, people online say that the Fizz has latency. Like, no, guys, don't trust everything you see online. That mouse, I guarantee you there's nobody can get any use out of this mouse. You see, there's some people that complain about their gear holding them back. And I would say 80% of the time, they're exaggerating. They could just get more game sense, more game experience, and not upgrade their gear and be totally fine. However, this mouse is the exception. This is the 20%. Okay, this mouse is so bad that you will have to play around it constantly and it will make you a worse player. So keep that in mind if you have this mouse or if you're getting this mouse. At the end of the day ends, right? And on a more serious note, there's more budget stuff out there. There's my Vixie R1 SE Plus. That one's really good and it's very similarly priced and it does not spin out like that, okay? It performs like a mouse should in game. Okay, it performs like a mouse should. And I will keep recommending that mouse as a budget mouse. And again, I haven't ran into any budget mouse that feels better than my Superlight 2. And you know what, man? There's so many people that crap on that mouse, but it's like, if it works for your hand, it's really good, okay? And I don't think I'm just used to it, and that's the only reason why I think it's good. It just feels higher quality and more responsive and finely tuned than any other mouse I've ever felt. And this is the exact reason why I'm very interested in buying the Super Strike X2. Now, this is going to be another whole video on that, but don't overpay for that mouse. Only get it if you have the budget. If the budget permits, get that mouse. You might like it. You might hate it, but I can guarantee you 1,000% companies like Attack Shark, ATK, Vixie, all these people that make like these cheap keyboards too, like Owla might even try taking a stab at this, but they're going to be coming out with their versions of the Super Strike, okay? And they're going to be 90% as good. And what does that mean? You're going to have wasted $100+ on getting this mouse because it's the first to market. So don't make that mistake unless you absolutely need it. You're a pro and you need that 20 millisecond advantage, okay? But yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Stick around for more content, so make sure to subscribe if you want that. Like the video, and peace, guys. I'll see you later.